Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
If you have an appointment next week for your first dose of the COVID vaccine and all of a sudden it gets canceled, well, tonight we know why.
We're going to begin, though, here at 11 with the city of Warren struggling to find firefighters, leading to exorbitant overtime for the ones who are on the job.
The city is trying to address the problem before it creates a fiscal disaster. Jason Colthorpe is live in Warren tonight. So, Jason, how far over budget is the fire department?
How about 250% just for its overtime budget, and that's of December 31st, which is only 6 months into its fiscal year. That led to 6 firefighters last year making at least $190,000. As Michigan's third largest city, Warren has 6 fire stations to help protect 48,000 residential housing units. According to the latest available statistics, firefighters respond to about 15,000 calls and anywhere from 300 to 400 fires a year. But last year, the force was thinned out by COVID. So to make the minimum staffing levels, overtime was offered, starting with those with the most seniority. But Mayor Jim Fouts tells me only a few took it. It led to 3 firefighters making more than $200,000 each for the year, and 3 more making more than $190,000.
We are $1 million over budget in overtime 6 months through the year. That's not sustainable.
Michigan Capital Confidential, which first reported the story, says 2 employees logged more than 2,000 hours of overtime and 9 others surpassed 1,000 hours of OT.
If someone is making, the money, that's good. They earned it. But when they're putting in that many hours, we're worried about their safety. We're worried about the product delivery to the residents. And we want the administration to hire people.
The city is looking at financial incentives for training to entice new firefighters. Bottom line for City Council President Pat Green, Warren simply has to ante up more than the neighboring cities.
I hate to call it a numbers game, but we need to be competitive.
Now, there's another dynamic at play here, and that's the red tape within city government. Now, recently, the police department went outside of HR and did some hiring on its own and kind of cut that out. It was worked very positively. Now, the city council is hoping maybe the fire department can do the same thing. Back to you.
Yeah, but Jason, what about hiring? Are there any new hires on the horizon?
Well, yeah, they did have 13 good applicants, and the mayor told me tonight they're hoping to make 10 hires out of that at least. So yes, back to you.
Yeah, okay. Jason, thank you.
If you have a first-time COVID vaccine appointment next week and it suddenly gets canceled, here's why. Federal government sent fewer doses than anticipated, which means what we're getting is going to have to be used for second doses first, because those doses have to be administered within a certain time frame. Let's bring in Mara McDonald, who's live downtown with just what kind of numbers we're talking about here. Mara.
Devin, we're talking about substantial numbers. We're talking 37,000 fewer doses than expected, which means all of a sudden this becomes a juggling act next week. So here's what happened. Last month, amidst criticism the feds were not releasing as many doses as they had because they were holding back doses for second vaccine appointments, they decided to release the second doses they were holding.
And there just weren't very many doses. And so now the Department of Health and Human Services is scrambling. They're looking for first doses all over the state to replace the missing second doses.
And now Michigan didn't get 37,000 doses it was expecting. Those reserved second doses have all been sent out, so the state is having to move doses around, meaning if you have a first vaccine appointment next week and all of a sudden it gets canceled, this is likely why. Quote, MDHHS, with the assistance from the Michigan National Guard, queried local health departments and hospitals regarding need for second dose vaccines. We are addressing any shortages in second doses in the orders we are placing for the shipment next week. About 37,300 doses from the first dose allocation will need to be used to ensure complete vaccination for individuals who are due a second dose. In better news, Pfizer says it will be providing an additional 100 million doses to the U.S., and those doses should start showing up shortly.
In the U.S., we're now planning to provide 120 million doses to the U.S. government by the end of March.
back here live with the remainder of that 80 million to show up sometime between April and May. Also, the U.S. government bought another 100 million doses from Moderna. So we've got 200 million vaccines coming in the pipeline in short order. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Okay, Mara. Now today, the city of Detroit has opened vaccine eligibility to people who have documented intellectual or developmental disabilities and also home health care workers who live in Detroit.
It comes as the state reported nearly 1,300 new cases and 75 additional deaths in the past 24 hours. Other headlines, President Biden today announcing there are now enough doses for 300 million Americans by the end of the summer.
And we're now contractually obligated to expedite delivery of 100 million doses that were promised by the end of June to deliver them by the end of May. That's a month faster. That means lives will be saved. That means we're now on track to have enough supply for 300 million Americans by the end of July.
The president also acknowledged today not every American who wants a vaccine will be able to receive it by the end of the summer due to the issue of administering the vaccine.
Some light snow showers moving into Metro Detroit tonight.
Yeah, so will anything stick to the roads, Ben? How are we looking?
Just a little bit, guys. I mean, this is very similar to what we've seen from our past events. Just very little to cover bare pavement, and it's going to be pretty light at that. Let's take a look at Storm Tracker 4, and we can see two things. First of all, that lake effect stuff that was coming in earlier, now been disconnected from the lakeshore. It's moving further inland. You can see some of that actually reaching 75 there in parts of Oakland County. So it's not long for the world. That'll start drying up here pretty shortly. And then we'll start tracking that stuff that's coming in from the west. Again, this is not going to be much. It'll spread over the area overnight. And most of that, I should say, is going to be north of 8 Mile. We'll be gone by the time we wake up in all areas except probably Sanilac County. You'll still see some of those snow showers for the first part of the commute. And then we're dry for the rest of Friday. We are not warm, but these are the mildest temperatures we're going to see for about a week. 24 on the high side tomorrow. And then the impacts over the next 4 days. We've got more snow coming Saturday. We'll talk about the numbers there. And Monday, the coldest air in 2 years. It's been February of 2019 since we've seen numbers like this, and we'll run it all down for you in a few minutes, guys.
Okay, Ben. House Democrats wrapping up their case today against former President Trump in their second and final day of arguments in the Senate impeachment trial, using the rioters' own words as evidence.
We were invited by the President of the United States! We are listening to Trump. You're the boss.
In their final arguments, House managers accused the former president of a pattern of condoning violence among his supporters and asserting the Capitol rioters believed that they were following his orders. They also argued the former president would incite more violence if he's not convicted.
The insurrection was the most violent and dangerous episode so far in Donald Trump's continuing pattern and practice of inciting violence.
If we pretend this didn't happen, or worse, if we let it go unanswered, who's to say it won't happen again?
So now the Trump legal team begins its defense. That'll start tomorrow at noon, with the core argument being that the former president was exercising free speech and never explicitly called for violence. But a vote on the impeachment is likely to come on Saturday.
A Shelby Township man is now the third person from Michigan charged in connection to the Capitol riot. Federal agents have arrested 56-year-old James Mells. According to court documents, he told agents in an interview he entered the Capitol to speak with an officer and give them a copy of the Constitution to, quote, have his voice heard. He faced a federal judge this afternoon on multiple charges, including knowingly entering the Capitol. He was released on a $10,000 bond. If convicted, Mells faces up to 10 years in federal prison.
Detroit Mayor Duggan will be visiting the White House tomorrow to meet with President Biden. Duggan will be joined by other mayors and governors from across the country, all taking part in an Oval Office meeting to discuss the president's $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan. The plan includes a third round of stimulus checks and $20 billion for a national vaccine program.
Governor Whitmer releases the details of her next budget, which focuses on stabilizing the state's economy through the pandemic.
Total proposal $67 billion, slight increase over last year's budget. Governor is proposing more money for schools, including an increase in per pupil funding. She also wants to keep a direct care wage increase in place. Governor's also asking for $300 million for bridge repairs.
It's the realities of the moment that we're in. We wanted to prioritize and really stay laser focused on the things that we need to do to help get our state through this tough time and get our economy back on track.
Governor says she wants budget negotiations with the legislature done by the end of June.
Still ahead, a man is caught peeping into a teenage girl's bedroom window.
How the girl's mother responded has made her an internet star. We'll have more on that in a moment.
More than $60,000 seized at Metro Airport, what the passenger told officers right before they found the cash hidden in a suitcase.
But coming up first, new information coming out tonight about former President Trump's health after testing positive for COVID-19 back in October. That's next.